the yoga and the breath work and the ice baths and the movement and the exercise and the dance and the chanting and the sound baths and all of that stuff helps. However, if you are still watching the news and feeling like a victim of whatever's happening, whoever's president, whatever war is going on, whatever's happening, even if you are one of the victims of this entire system, meaning, you were a child sex slave or you're a 12-year-old kid in China making our iPhones. If you're in the situation not realizing that you were the creator of it for your own evolution, then you're missing the point. It doesn't matter how long you hold your breath, how deep into the ocean you can swim without, breathing in cold water and meditating. You're dismissing your godliness when you disagree with what is. Okay, what is, period. And if you are looking at that, perceiving what is, and thinking that shouldn't be, then there's a disconnect from, you're basically saying, no, I don't have control of this. And so, to answer your question, what I feel is most important is responsibility. Assume responsibility for everything, like literally everything. And that would mean that you will no longer complain about anything, because complaining is the opposite of being responsible. And responsible comes down to responsibility, the ability to respond. Okay. It doesn't mean that it's harmonious to you, because you will have to practice to find the harmony in what currently is. And it's through that practice that you will become all, right? And when we talk about enlightenment, you become embodied by light, and everything is light. So in order for you to become all, you must accept all. And it's very difficult to do in this planet right now. But if you look at history, there's always been problems. There's always been murder and all of this stuff. But guess what? If you go into nature, you go walk into the forest, you see frogs eating dragonflies, you see wolves taking down deer. That's life on Earth, period. So just because we live in houses doesn't mean that the equivalent of the frog and the insect isn't happening to us. And yes, we are both the frog and the insect in many different things. I just mentioned a 12-year-old Chinese kid building our iPhones. Like, that exists. We're the frog eating the insect in that scenario. And then there's other scenarios where the government is taking advantage of us, or these higher dimensional entities are sucking energy out of our souls when we're fearful or anxious, and they want that to perpetuate. And to understand that if you were to design a universe that is self-perpetuating, the higher levels will feed on the lower levels. And that's just the way of a cycle. Like, the higher levels have to feed on the lower levels. Otherwise, there's no energy to go up. And so understanding our place in that, in the cycle of life, and not being so attached to your comfort, not being so attached to even your life. Like, imagine a leaf on a tree being attached to its life, right? Like, no, I don't want to die. I'm not going to die. I'm not like, but like, we as an outside perspective can see that the leaf is just a function of the giant organism of the tree, and that the leaf must die, and that the leaf is going to come back again the next season. And if you look at every single religion and every single culture, there is this concept of an afterlife or multiple lifetimes. And that's what we're seeing within ourselves. So understanding that this is an experience for us, and whatever your experience is, everybody has the worst thing that's ever happened to them. Everybody has the best thing that's ever happened to them. So it doesn't matter how dramatic, how luxurious, how poor, how painful. Everyone has the spectrum of experience that they are experiencing as the individual. And knowing that this life was chosen by you probably before you were born, and that you came specifically to experience this version of life, and to understand that this is an experience, and to not close your eyes and shove it away, but to absorb yourself into it. That's that's where I would start. I would start there before like any movement practice. And but all of that stuff, okay, let me start over. All of that stuff, eating well, all of that stuff is to help facilitate your ability to absorb this energy, because it is a lot to take on, and it's a practice, and it's hard to do. And so uh, strengthening your nervous system and your subtle energy systems will allow you to be more capable, to be responsible, to be able to respond.